It was a dreary, rainy day when I sat down to draw this mandala, and I said to myself, you know what? I need to draw myself a little bit of sunshine. And that's exactly what I did. I'd say this is one of the more complex mandalas that I have ever drawn, and so I'm going to sit back and let's watch this framework build. And now we're ready to fill in the details. I've been studying mandala design a lot more recently, and so I've got a couple of new motifs that I'm using that I haven't used before that really kind of up the complexity of it and I guess make it look a little more dressy than most of the ones I've done before do. I think the key, one of the keys anyway, to good design is to have that value difference. So trying to not have everything look the same, have some that's a little bit darker and heavier, some that's more in the middle, and then some lighter. And I've kind of done that in those first three layers there. And this is the first time I've tried this kind of a design on this one that I'm drawing now. And I would say once I had the feel for it, it was really easy to draw. The most challenging, or I guess maybe it's probably more tedious part, was coloring the dark background behind those. But I think it really sets them off. I'm glad I decided to do that. I was really pleased with how the center portion of this mandala turned out after it was all complete. I like the overall look of it. I like that it's very detailed. And now we have to make sure that those outer rounds live up to the same level. This is also another new design that I tried, using the circles at one side and then lines on the other. I like that it's asymmetrical within a symmetrical design. And now we're going to repeat that first design that's in there in the center circle again in this round. And one thing you'll notice is that the shapes, the outside shapes of these are not all the same. Um, I guess if I was a perfectionist, I would want to go back and fix that. But in the overall scheme of things, they look similar enough, and I kind of like the organicness of having things that aren't exactly perfect. On the first round of these, I actually used the same pen that I used to draw the shapes with to do that background color, and it took a good while. This time I drew them all, and now I'm coloring behind them, and I'm using my brush pen, and I think that really does a much faster job of filling in those backgrounds. At this point in the process, I'm starting to get really excited because I honestly wasn't sure when I first started. I wanted to do the yellow, but I wasn't sure that I would be able to follow through. I was a little nervous about using it for some reason. And so I was getting really excited because I wanted to see the color with this mandala, if it was going to work out good, if it was going to look good and be enough color or too much or whatever. And so I'm feeling really good now. And when I started doing this outside part, I was a little nervous that it didn't live up to the level of complexity, level of fanciness, and the rest of it. But after I do this step, I'll do some coloring and then add a little bit more, and I think I pull it off okay. It's not quite the same, but it's still enough. And so what I do is end up putting it looks to me like a mosaic. It's just a simple flower with the petals repeated, and then the space behind it, the negative space filled in also. It looks like a little mosaic, and overall I like the way that turned out too. And now the exciting part, getting going on the yellow. And when I did this first round, I felt really good. I was excited about how it was going to look. Back in my quilt making days, that was also one of my favorite kinds of quilts to make, was a black and white quilt with just one or two really bright accent colors. So I guess that's part of what makes me lean this way for my mandalas as well. And I'm just using my handy Crayola Super Tips to do this. When I was doing it, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to make a mandala, different mandalas with each of those colors? I have like 60 of them. So here's our sunshine. It's complete and bright and well suited to cheer you up on a rainy day. Now, YouTube thinks you'd like this video here on the left, and I think you would like this playlist on the right. Thank you so much for joining me today.